The elderly woman beaten with a hammer and sexually assaulted earlier this month in Lake Charles has died. Family members say 75-year-old Sherry Vincent passed in a Lafayette hospital just before noon today. Vincent had lived in public housing in the elderly complex near Lake Street and 18th.
Meanwhile, the case has come under public scrutiny because of how police have handled it. This morning, Teresa Schmidt sat down with officials to get answers.
The family of Sherry Vincent, as well as residents who live in the public housing where she lived, think the police should have immediately alerted the public of her brutal attack. Scott Daly is her son-in-law.
When you have a home invasion to this magnitude, people need to know, because I would want to know.
Daly saw the hammer marks on her head and says she was left for dead.
He went and got her hammer off a shelf and bludgeoned her and beat her in the head multiple times.
Hours before Vincent died, the police chief and mayor discussed police handling of the attack with me and why nothing was released until 10 days after the attack, and only when KPLC requested it. Caldwell says they don't immediately release information on sex crimes.
Victims' dignity in any time that there is a sexual act involved is something that we hold dear, and we don't want to re-victimize the victim nor their family.
Many people seem to believe that this is a public safety issue, that somebody who appears to be a very violent predator is on the loose, and as far as I can tell, no meaningful description of the guy was ever released to the public. I mean, am I wrong?
We did not release anything. The information that you released came from a family member who chose to release it to y'all.
The brief news release issued July 14th described the suspect only as an unknown skinny black male. Mayor Nick Hunter stands by the chief and the department, both saying public safety is first and foremost.
If at any moment in time, for any case, the police department believes that there's an imminent danger or threat out there to someone, that would be immediately communicated to the public.
Now that the victim has died, Caldwell says the case is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Teresa Schmidt, 7 News.
Vincent's body is being sent for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Still no arrest or detailed description of the suspect.